Wentz Financial Group presents Zips Basketball Weekly with John Groce. Investment management for your lifetime. Brought to you by Akron Children's Hospital and Bryant Heating and Cooling. And now your host, Joe Dunn.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Zips Basketball Weekly, brought to you all season long by the Wentz Financial Group. My name's Joe Dunn. Head coach John Groce is here. We're going to talk some Zip basketball. And, Coach, we have a special guest today, too. We're going to bring in our second segment. Coach Melissa Jackson from the women's basketball team is going to be here.
No, we're excited to have her again and hopefully to make it an annual tradition,
yes.
Right? And they've had a big week, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later in the show.
Exactly. Well, Coach, 2 games scheduled. We got 1 game in. Unfortunately, we get beat by Ohio. I talked to you after the game, and you were very emphatic. We came close to stealing that game against the Bobcats.
Yeah, 2 reasons. One, I just didn't think we played very well, to be honest with you. And after watching the tape, kind of reiterated that. But I was really proud of our guys was the second reason why we almost stole it. I mean, we've come through, went through a lot here with the pauses,
sure.
Guys in and out of the lineup. Certain guys can practice on certain days. And as I said after the game, I'm not an excuse guy, but that's reality.
Yeah.
And so our guys, I thought, really did a great job of playing with a lot of toughness and a lot of resiliency and put themselves at least in a position to have a chance to win it and really dug deep. So I was really proud of them for that.
Yeah, we're going to look at highlights in a minute, Coach, but that was a second straight game. We were down by 14 points and almost came back and won it.
Yeah, we've had a little bit of an MO of doing that, really dating back to West Virginia in the exhibition game, Ohio State and Columbus, and multiple other occasions. Part of it is we've got to get off to a little bit better start. But again, I think it speaks to just the toughness, the care factor our guys have for competing and each other. And we got some pretty tough guys. We've got to play better and execute better. But I certainly don't question their toughness, and that's always got to be foundational for us in terms of how hard we play and how competitively tough that we are, and we've got a group that is that.
Well, let's go back to Rhodes Arena, pick up highlights as Zips take on the Ohio Bobcats. The Zips right now are 8-4 overall, 1-1 in the Mid-American Conference, and Coach, as you said, kind of a slow start. We didn't score, I think, for the first 5 minutes. We're down early, 7-0.
Yeah, I thought the biggest periods of the game for us that led to our demise were the start of the game and the end of the game.
Yeah.
So they start the game on a 9-2 run. They finish the game on a 9-2 run. I just thought the quality of our possessions relative to theirs was poor. If you look at the shots that they were able to get versus the shots that we settled for, and I don't mean to take anything away from their defense, but I thought we settled primarily, made a big difference. A lot of times as coaches, and I'm certainly one of those that looks at analytics pretty deeply, but this one was pretty simple. The quality of shot that they were able to get in the first 4 minutes versus ours, same thing in the last 4 minutes of the game to finish, was astronomically different advantage Ohio. So I thought that was the big swing in the game that, didn't allow us to quite get over the hump.
Cut the Bobcats lead to 3 points, I think twice in the first half, Coach. Michael Dawson hits a 3-pointer, makes it 16-13. Then Greg Tribble, we're going to see from the corner, makes it 20-17. So you got back in the game in the first half.
Yeah, to no surprise, and you talked about that earlier. We've got a bunch of guys who will fight now. I mean, they'll fight, they'll compete, they're pretty tough. And again, it comes down at this point in time to kind of execution, to us getting our cardio back after the pause, rhythm, timing, figuring out rotations that have been really different dating back to Wright State. So we're trying to figure all that out. But in the meantime, the toughness has given us a chance to compete and have an opportunity to win.
Ohio was up by 13 points late in the first half, but I think Ali is going to hit a 3-pointer with 4 seconds left in the half. And you go into the locker room at halftime, Coach, we're down 33-23.
Yeah, that was a big 3. Gave us at least a chance to get it right at 10. And then obviously in the second half, Ali continued to make big plays. It was interesting late in the game. I think he really wanted to make plays for us. But I thought, his understanding of how to close and finish for the first time being in that role. In the past, that was Christian Jackson or Tyler Cheese. Now it's Ali, and he's really grown as a player. I think he's one of the best players in our league. He proved that this past week. But trying to finish out from a maturity perspective, how to close a game. And I think it was a great learning tool for him and our team as we move forward an opportunity to learn from our mistakes late in the game. The last 4 minutes, I thought we settled again for some shots that we didn't need to take.
I think Ali has come to the point, Coach, late in those games, he wants to put the team on his shoulders a little bit.
He does, and obviously I respect and appreciate his courage, but we've got to try to find that balance of playing the right way as well. We're going to put him in position to make plays and need to do a better job of that. Late game, I thought we could do a better job of putting him in position to make some plays, but I thought he settled, but it wasn't because of a lack of toughness or courage. He wanted to make those plays. We've just got to figure out how to do that in a more efficient manner.
With about 7 minutes to go, you make your comeback, Coach. Ali, 4 straight points. I think it makes it 60-54. Xavier Castaneda with 2 free throws. Ali with a free throw. And finally, we take that 1-point lead. I think it was 61-60.
Yeah, it was a big run there that we had, right? It was really spearheaded by trapping the post. We decided out of the one timeout to be a little bit more aggressive. We had worked on it some, and at that point really had nothing to lose, down double figures. And so we went ahead and brought heat in the post. It created some turnovers, got us some stops, and gave us an opportunity to get out and score some in transition. Then you see us there executing sideline ball screen, cleared side action pretty well. So we had a chance. I mean, we did. We put ourselves in position to have an opportunity to win it, up 61-60. They just closed better than we did. And so great lesson for our guys, and hopefully something that we can build on.
Of course, the crowd got into it late in the game, Coach. I thought it helped your guys out a lot.
No, it did, for sure. And really appreciate those students who came out while we've been on break. It's been mostly the same ones. So we appreciate their loyalty, and it's great to see them. And certainly the crowd in general, I thought, was impactful during the run. And we hope to see more people coming out here as we have more home games moving forward.
Quick question, Coach, before we take a break. We were scheduled to play down at Miami. That was canceled. Those games will be made up. At least we're going to try and make them all up.
Yeah, the league's going to attempt to make them all up. Obviously every day's different right now. It seems like every day's day one. You're just trying to make decisions, and I'm sure the league feels the same way in using their best judgment based on the information they have, where all the teams are at in the league in terms of cancellations and rescheduling. But yes, the intent is to make all of them up. And so, we look forward, obviously, to competing and making those games up, and hopefully can get healthier here soon.
Exactly. We're going to take a break. When we come back, head coach Melissa Jackson will join us. We're going to talk some women's basketball. Zips are on a 2-game winning streak. We're back right after this timeout.
The difference with Wentz Financial Group is that we do not have a cookie-cutter answer to any of our clients' needs. Every day is completely different in the market, and every client situation is unique. We value the opportunity and responsibility to manage the hopes and dreams of our 3,000 customers nationwide.
Come see the difference Wentz Financial Group can make for your financial future. Wentz Financial Group. Investment management for your lifetime.
This is my back before surgery, and then this was it after. These things are in my back right now, helping keep it straight so I get to go back to dance with my friends.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good to see you, Chloe. From my perspective, there is nothing that I wouldn't let you do. Really, all the credit for how well you're doing is just you and how hard you've worked to get back to where you are. I'm really proud of you.
Thank you.
Once again, we want to welcome Coach Melissa Jackson to the show. We always enjoy doing this. As I mentioned earlier, I hope we can do this every year. Big week for women's basketball, Melissa, with 2 wins. Let's start with the rivalry win over Kent State. Kind of give us your thoughts on the game. Obviously, anytime you can win that one, it's a big one.
It was huge, and thanks, John, for having me. I really appreciate being on the show, and it was a big win for our program. Just as you know, like every day, you don't know who you're going to play at this point. So we were scheduled to play Ohio, and so I met with my assistant Monday morning. We went over that game plan, and then we got the call from the MAC office that that game was going to be postponed, and we thought maybe we would play on Wednesday. So we went into practice telling our team, okay, we got to keep our conditioning up. We got to stay sharp. And then we found out about 36 hours, that we were going to play Kent, our rival, on the road. So we quickly transitioned and put together a really good game plan, I thought. And again, just really proud of our group. They've shown their resiliency through this time. And what a great win for us. You know, I thought we had some great contributions from Lane Farrell. Jordan Dawson was spectacular. I thought our point guard, Annika Corcoran, played her best game in a zip uniform. And anytime you can go on the road on your rival and get that win, that's a huge boost for your program.
It's a big one. Talk about a little bit, you and I communicated after the game, and you played so well watching it and tracking it, really outplayed them for the majority of the game, and then it gets to the end, and you mentioned to me, like, hey, we needed to close, and it got a little tight. Sure. Like, talk to maybe our listeners about what you're telling your team at those timeouts that are late in the game, because really you played so well up to that juncture.
We did, and we had the lead for most of the game. You know, Ken went on a run in the second quarter, but I thought we withstood that. We had a great start to start the game, and then came out at halftime and had an unbelievable third quarter. And we talked about, you know, some adjustments that we needed to make at halftime. But the fourth quarter, I thought our team really executed some of our great sets, a couple backdoor plays, a nice screen for Jordan. And then we haven't played a lot with a lead. And so, like we were talking about that, you know, I thought we learned a lot from that Kent game, how to play with a lead. We needed to, you know, bring the ball out, use some clock. And I think that really helped us in our next game against Bowling Green when we had the lead. So we watched the film, we broke it down. You know, I thought it was a good learning experience, you know, to learn from a win.
Sure. Talk a little bit about, it's interesting as a coach. I know I feel this way, maybe you don't. You know, I remember when I was at Illinois, we beat #1 ranked Indiana, and at the end of that year, everyone said, hey, what was your biggest win of the year? Sure. And they expected me to say that. But what I told them was it was the next game against Minnesota, who was a really good team and a quality opponent, because everyone's telling you how good you are. You come off this high of winning big-time game, and now you've got to come back 2 to 3 days later and perform. Yeah. Obviously, you guys performed really well against Bowling Green here at home. Yeah. Tell me about the transition between the two games and how you work the mental aspect of being able to bounce back from such a huge win over Kent.
Yeah, absolutely, because that was such a big win, and I thought we had a lot of momentum, you know, going into the Bowling Green game. But we talked a lot about consistency in this league, and you know, I mean, the margin for error is so small in this conference. So we got to, you know, be able to put 4 quarters together, and I thought we've put 8 quarters together. You know, the 4 at Kent and now the 4 against Bowling Green. But we talked a lot about, you know, consistency on both sides of the floor. In the Bowling Green game, you know, we started fast, and we were playing very much Bowling Green's tempo. And actually, I told them at halftime I didn't like it. So we came back out. We got a lot more stops on the defensive end, really flipped the tempo, made it much more, you know, our style. And again, had the lead for most of the game. And I thought we executed really well down the stretch against their run and jump pressure, which I was really worried about. You know, we had a couple turnovers, but not nearly as many as they were averaging. And so again, I thought our girls really learned from the Kent game and were able to, you know, come home with a big home victory against Bowling Green.
You talk a little bit about Jordan Dawson and how she played in the Bowling Green game. Triple-double, second in school history. I started thinking about when I saw that in my career as a head coach, I've only had 2 players get one. Yeah. And that's really special. Talk about how she's playing right now and her performance against Bowling Green.
She's such an unbelievable player. You know, if you haven't seen Jordan play, you need to come out and watch her because she started off the year at a really high level and then unfortunately had a bad ankle sprain that kept her out for 1 game and just wasn't, you know, 100%. But, you know, in the time that we have had off, you know, she's been rehabbing. She's been able to get back to full strength. And, man, is she playing at a high level. It started, you know, at Toledo. She dropped 30. She had 6 threes. Kent, you know, she had 18 points, 16 rebounds. And then to come up against Bowling Green on her home court with the triple-double. She does it all for us. You know, 26 points, 13 rebounds, 10 assists. And she's an unbelievable defender, plays both sides of the ball. But what I love about her more than anything this year is her leadership, her poise. She's matured so much. Just really excited, you know, that the way that she's playing in the senior year.
Sure. She's been absolutely terrific. Talk to me a little bit about your newcomers.
Yeah.
You know, I know they've made such a huge impact for your team and for your program this year and obviously moving forward.
Yeah, we knew, you know, we needed some needs that we had to go out and recruit, and one of those was a point guard. And so we went into the transfer portal and found a really good one in Annika Corcoran. And it's taken some time, you know, for her to get, you know, situated with what we like to do and how I coach. But she has really come on in this conference play. And then we have an unbelievable freshman in Reagan Bass. who I think is one of the best freshmen in this league. She's a beast on the defensive end, but she scored 12 points yesterday, and that's coming off of not playing for a month. Because obviously we hadn't played. She was in a little bit of a pause, and she came back first MAC game, 12 points, and just was an unbelievable beast on the defensive end.
That's awesome. Well, the women's basketball team is rolling right now and playing well. 2 big wins this week. We encourage you to come out to the Jar and watch them play. Watch us play. We actually have, I think, scheduled, hopefully, a doubleheader. We'd encourage you to come out to that as well. But, again, thank you for coming on the show, Melissa. It's great to have you, and we wish you the best of luck moving forward. Next up, we'll have our weekly awards. Stay tuned.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family warm this winter,
here, let me show you how this works.
It takes Bryant.
Bryant, whatever it takes.
And to keep your family comfortable, it takes HJAX Plumbing and Heating. Find them at hjax.com.
What we make right here at the University of Akron
holds up under pressure.
What we make climbs the ladder and leads to record highs.
What we make lifts us all
and makes us all better.
With everything we make, everyone rises.
Welcome back to Zips Basketball Weekly. Now it's time for our player awards. Before we do that, Coach, you did such a great job with Coach Melissa Jackson. Could we mic you up during a game and maybe have that as a feature some week and have the fans really understand how you coach?
Welker has asked that before as well, and I may consider it. We'll see as we move forward.
There you go. How about our player of the week? Ali for the second straight week. He's our player of the week. Had a great week. 22 points against Ohio. His three-pointer from the deep left corner with 4:41 left in the game. Tied it at 60. He also had 2 rebounds, 4 assists. Played over 36 minutes, Coach, and we talked a lot about him last week and during the show, but he just continues to get better and better.
He does, and after last week's show, in well-deserved fashion, Joe, he was named the MAC Player of the Week, right? So he deserved it. He's playing at a really high level right now at both ends of the floor, and again, a lot of it's his versatility, but also his intelligence, his work ethic, and I think he's scratching the surface, Joe. That's what's scary. I mean, I think he can be even better moving forward as he continues to mature in this new role that he's playing where, we're counting on him to generate offense for others as well as himself. And I just think the sky's the limit for him.
I'll tell you, I like when he takes it into the post, Coach. He's got those long arms. It's tough to block his shots.
Really tough.
Yeah.
And he's a 3-level scorer, which is kind of what you're alluding to. I mean, he can play in the post, score around the rim.
Right.
He can score in the mid-range. He shoots threes. He can pass. He can dribble. He's extremely skilled, and then don't underestimate that intelligence. He's really smart. Comes up, he'll send me text every once in a while of a play he saw, and very thoughtful, can really think well during the game, knows what's going on out there, very intelligent player.
How about our player on the rise, a young man the coach really likes out of Huntington, West Virginia. Huntington Prep, Michael Dawson, 6'5", sophomore, came off the bench against Ohio to score 14 points. He hit 4 3-pointers, pulled down 3 rebounds along with 2 assists, 1 steal, no turnovers, Coach, in almost 35 minutes of play.
Yeah, we needed all 35 of those, right, because we were down B. Trim. But he was terrific. We talked about his sister earlier, Jordan Dawson, and Michael had a great week as well. He was terrific shooting the ball. Yeah. The best thing about Michael is he plays to win and competes on every possession. And his teammates respect that, and certainly the staff does as well. Very physical, puts his body in plays, is willing to sacrifice for the team. Special kid. I love coaching Mike.
He's got probably the quickest release of everybody on the team. Doesn't take him long to get that thing up and into the rim.
Yeah, him and B. Trim both. Those guys can really, get it going. It's great when Michael shoots the ball like that. If we get a game where Michael and we get B. Trim back and they're both shooting the ball like that, and then Castaneda shot it well, Lee shot it well. We're actually a better shooting team than what I even projected coming into the year, Joe, and that's a good thing because that keeps teams from, sagging in, collapsing, doubling, digging. on our post without paying a price.
Exactly. Congratulations to those two young men. We're going to take a break, come back and talk about the big game coming up next Friday over at Kent, the Wagon Wheel Challenge, the Zips against the Golden Flashes, right after this.
Even if this is the three-point line, and this is the hoop, if this is home ice, and this is sticking the landing, kids will find a way to keep playing the sports they love, and we'll keep helping them. After an injury, Akron Children's is dedicated to getting your child back to the game as quickly and safely as possible, however they play it. Learn more at akronchildrens.org/sports.
The difference with Wentz Financial Group is that we do not have a cookie-cutter answer to any of our clients' needs. Every day is completely different in the market, and every client situation is unique. We value the opportunity and responsibility to manage the hopes and dreams of our 3,000 customers nationwide.
Come see the difference Wentz Financial Group can make for your financial future. Wentz Financial Group. Investment management for your lifetime.
Once again, the Zips are scheduled to play 2 games this week, Ball State and then Kent State next Friday on the road, Coach. And hopefully we get all these games in because it's going to be tough to make up a lot at the end of the season. But, boy, that Kent game, it is a tremendous rivalry, the Wagon Wheel Challenge, and they're playing pretty good right now. They lost down at Ohio, I think, by 8, but they're a dangerous team, especially at home.
Oh, no question. In league play, you never know what's going to happen, generally speaking, but certainly in a rivalry game. Obviously we got Ball State first on Tuesday.
Right.
We want to see the fans come out for that. We'll have the students back on campus as school starts this upcoming week, so we're excited about that. And we start to get some guys back and get a little healthier. That'll be a big one for us. And then the Wagon Wheel on Friday night. I've always said in rivalry games you can throw records out, though. It doesn't mean anything. I mean, both teams will play extremely hard. You'll see that. Very physical game. Aggressive style, it just is what it is. It's you better not be timid in that one. You better be ready to go and expect a really physical game.
I remember the game up at Kent last year, Coach. We really played well up there defensively and had a nice win up at Kent.
We did and held on, and we were talking about closing games, right? So Christian was kind of in that position for us the last 3 years, and the thing I remember about that game is a lot like Melissa's game this past week against Bowling Green. We outplayed them for the majority of the game.
Right.
Defense was great, and then at the end, we didn't close real well. And like any good leader would do, I remember Christian putting his arm around me saying, "Coach, my bad, we got closed better than that."
Yeah.
So he knew, and those are some of the things we've got to continue to teach our guys, our current team, our guards, Castaneda, Clark, and Tribble, that are at the front of our offense, and then obviously Ali, who makes plays for us late in games.
Kent has one of the better guards in the league, a transfer from Duquesne, Sincere Carey, out of, I think, Solon High School up in the Cleveland area, and he is really playing well for him.
Super talented, can pass and make guys better.
Yeah.
Also has the ability to score off catch and bounce. Very aggressive playmaker. We talked about our team playing a different style this year with posting the ball and off the air, reminiscing about some of the Akron teams I coached against at one of my previous places.
Yeah.
Well, Kent is usually doing that. Now they're playing a little differently with this point guard Carey. They're really heavy and strong in the backcourt and at the wing positions. They post it some, but not as much as in the past. They've almost flipped to the pick and roll system a little bit to fit their personnel, which is what good coaches do, and Rob does a great job with them.
You have enough veteran players now, Coach. They know how important this Kent game is, not only to the standings, but also to the fans in the area.
No, it's important. We've never shied away from that. From the very beginning when we got here, we know it's different. And it means a lot to the community and the city and university, and it's an honor and a privilege to coach in it and for our guys to play in it. But first we've got to get ready for Ball State.
Yeah.
We got to take it one game at a time, and we got a great challenge on Tuesday night, especially as our guys are continuing to get back healthy.
Exactly. Hopefully get both games in. We'll be back here next week to talk more Zip basketball. For head coach John Groce, I'm Joe Dunn. Always remember, go Zips.
Wentz Financial Group presents Zips Basketball Weekly with John Groce. Investment management for your lifetime. Brought to you by Akron Children's Hospital and Bryant Heating and Cooling. Thanks for watching, and go Zips!
This has been a presentation from Learfield,